Hello and welcome back to Business English Practice. Today we're discussing a critical professional skill, how to talk about business performance in English.
Yes, this is essential for managers, team leaders, analysts, entrepreneurs, and even employees reporting to supervisors. At some point, everyone has to explain results.
Exactly. Whether you're presenting quarterly results, discussing KPIs in a meeting, speaking to investors, or giving a department update, you must describe performance clearly, accurately, and strategically.
And this topic can feel intimidating because it often involves numbers, trends, and sometimes negative results.
That's right. So today, we'll break it down step by step. Vocabulary, structure, tone, and common mistakes. And we'll model real conversations throughout.
Let's start with the basics. When we talk about business performance, what are we usually referring to?
Typically, revenue, profit, costs, growth rate, market share, productivity, customer acquisition, retention, and operational efficiency. It depends on the context and industry.
So the first skill is understanding what metric matters in that situation.
Exactly. Before speaking, ask yourself, what performance indicators are relevant to this audience? Executives may care about profitability. Operations may care about efficiency. Sales teams focus on revenue and targets.
Let's start with a simple reporting structure. How should someone structure a business performance update?
A clear structure is overall summary, key metrics, explanation of drivers, challenges, outlook.
So begin with the big picture.
Yes, for example, overall, the company delivered solid growth this quarter, with revenue increasing and operational costs remaining stable.
That immediately sets the tone.
Exactly. Then you move into specifics. For example, revenue increased by 12% compared to the previous quarter, while operating expenses rose by 3% due to process optimization initiatives.
Notice the comparison language, compared to the previous quarter. Comparisons are essential.
Absolutely. Performance without comparison has no meaning. You must compare against last month, last quarter, last year, or targets.
Let's talk about useful comparison phrases.
Good idea. Use phrases like compared to, in line with, slightly above, below expectations, exceeded projections, fell short of targets, year-over-year growth, quarter-over-quarter improvement.
Those phrases sound analytical and professional.
They also show control over data interpretation.
Let's model a short performance update. I'll try.
Go ahead.
This quarter, sales improved and costs were lower.
Too vague. Improved and lower are not precise enough. Add numbers and context.
This quarter, sales increased by 8% year-over-year, while operating expenses decreased by 2% due to process optimization initiatives.
Much stronger. Now the audience can evaluate performance clearly.
Let's discuss describing positive performance. What verbs are useful?
Strong performance verbs include increased, grew, expanded, accelerated, strengthened, improved, outperformed, exceeded, delivered, achieved.
And for negative performance?
Declined, decreased, contracted, slowed, underperformed, fell short, weakened, experienced pressure, dropped.
I like experienced pressure. It sounds more diplomatic.
Exactly. Language choice influences perception. Saying sales collapsed creates panic. Saying sales experienced downward pressure sounds measured and controlled.
So tone matters just as much as numbers.
Yes. When discussing business performance, your tone should be objective and analytical, not emotional.
Let's practice describing strong performance in detail.
Go ahead.
The company delivered strong financial performance in the first half of the year. Revenue grew by 15%, driven primarily by expansion into new markets and increased customer retention. Profit margins improved due to cost management initiatives and supply chain efficiencies.
Excellent. Notice how you explained the drivers: expansion, retention, cost management. Performance reports must explain why results happened.
So numbers alone are incomplete.
Correct. Always answer the implicit question, what caused this result?
Let's now practice discussing weaker performance. Many learners struggle with that.
Yes, because it requires diplomacy and strategic framing.
I'll try. Our sales dropped a lot this quarter.
Too informal and vague. Try something more analytical.
This quarter, revenue declined by 6% compared to the previous quarter, primarily due to seasonal fluctuations and delayed product launches.
Good. Now you've added explanation and context. That reduces concern. Should we always include corrective actions? Yes. When reporting challenges, follow this structure: issue, cause, response.
Example?
Customer acquisition slowed due to increased competition. However, we've implemented targeted marketing campaigns to improve conversion rates in the next quarter.
That shows control and forward planning.
Exactly. Leaders don't just report problems, they present solutions.
Let's talk about KPI language.
KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. When discussing KPIs, be specific. For example, we achieved 95% of our quarterly sales target, or customer satisfaction scores increased from 82 to 88.
Precision builds credibility.
Always. Avoid phrases like doing well or not great. Replace them with measurable descriptions.
Let's practice a management meeting conversation.
I'll be the manager, you report performance.
Okay.
How did the marketing department perform this quarter?
Overall, marketing performance was positive. Lead generation increased by 20% compared to the previous quarter, and campaign conversion rates improved by 5%. However, cost per acquisition rose slightly due to higher digital advertising expenses.
What drove the increase in lead generation?
The improvement was mainly driven by targeted content campaigns and improved audience segmentation.
And what steps are you taking to control acquisition costs?
We're optimizing our ad spend by reallocating budget toward higher-performing channels and refining our bidding strategy.
Excellent. Structured, analytical, and solution-focused. Let's discuss forecasting. Talking about future performance is also important.
Yes, use phrases like we anticipate, we project, we expect, we forecast, we are targeting.
Example, based on current trends, we anticipate moderate revenue growth next quarter.
Good. Always signal uncertainty professionally. Avoid absolute promises.
So instead of we will double revenue, say we are targeting significant revenue growth.
Exactly. Forecasts should sound data-driven, not emotional.
Before we finish, let's talk about common mistakes.
One mistake is being too vague with numbers.
Another mistake is giving numbers without explaining what caused them.
A third mistake is focusing only on positive metrics and ignoring challenges. Balanced reporting builds trust.
Another mistake is speaking too quickly when discussing numbers, which makes it hard for listeners to follow.
Yes, slow down slightly when presenting data. Clarity matters more than speed.
Some speakers also overload their audience with too many metrics.
Correct. Focus on key indicators, not every statistic available.
Final advice for our listeners?
When talking about business performance, remember this framework. Summarize clearly, present key metrics with comparisons, explain drivers, address challenges with solutions, and end with forward-looking insights.
And practice describing performance both when results are strong and when results are weak.
And always speak with confidence, clarity, and objectivity.
That concludes our comprehensive discussion on how to talk about business performance in English.
Keep practicing structured communication because strong performance means little if you can't communicate it effectively.
See you in the next session.
Hello and welcome to Business English Conversations.
Hi, everyone. We're so glad you could join us today.
On this podcast, we help you improve your professional English through natural, practical workplace conversations.
And today's topic is extremely important in the business world.
Yes, today we're talking about how to talk about business performance in English.
This is a big one.
It really is. Whether you work in sales, finance, marketing, operations, or management, you'll need to discuss performance at some point.
Especially in meetings, quarterly reviews, presentations, and reports.
Exactly. So today we'll cover useful vocabulary, phrases, and real examples to help you speak clearly and confidently about business results.
Let's start with the basics. What does business performance actually mean?
Business performance refers to how well a company, team, or department is doing.
So it's about results.
Yes, results such as revenue, profit, sales growth, productivity, market share, and customer satisfaction.
Let's start with revenue and profit because people often confuse those two.
That's true. Revenue is the total income generated from sales.
And profit is what remains after expenses are deducted.
Exactly. So revenue is the top line and profit is the bottom line.
I like that expression, bottom line. What does it mean?
The bottom line refers to net profit. It can also mean the most important result or conclusion.
So how can we talk about positive performance?
There are many ways. For example, you can say, we've seen strong growth this quarter.
Or our revenue increased by 15% compared to last year.
Yes, and notice the structure, increased by 15%.
What's the difference between increased by and increased to?
Good question. Increased by shows the amount of change. Increased to shows the final number.
Can you give an example?
Revenue increased by 10% to $2 million.
So 10% is the change and 2 million is the final result.
Exactly. What are other positive phrases?
We exceeded our targets.
That means we performed better than expected.
Right. Or you can say we outperformed the market.
That sounds impressive.
It does. It means your company performed better than competitors.
What about describing stable performance?
You can say performance remained steady or we maintained consistent growth.
So steady means stable without major changes.
Exactly. Now let's talk about negative performance.
Yes, this is just as important.
How do you describe a decline professionally?
You can say sales declined by 8% this quarter, or we experienced the slight drop in revenue.
I noticed you said slight drop.
Yes, adding words like slight, moderate, or significant helps describe the size of the change.
So what if the situation is serious?
You might say we saw a significant decrease in profit due to rising operational costs.
That sounds professional and clear.
Yes, and it explains the reason.
That's important, isn't it?
Absolutely. When discussing poor performance, always provide context or explanation.
Let's create a full example for a quarterly meeting.
Okay, here's a comprehensive example. Overall, this quarter's performance was strong. Revenue increased by 12% compared to the previous quarter, driven primarily by growth in our online sales channel. Although operational costs rose slightly, we were still able to improve our net profit margin.
That sounds very professional.
Thank you. Notice how it balances positive results with transparency.
What if performance was mixed?
Then you can use contrast words like however, although, and while.
For example?
While sales volume increased, profit margins decreased due to higher production costs.
That clearly shows both sides.
Yes, it presents a balanced analysis.
Let's talk about key performance indicators, KPIs.
KPIs are measurable values that show how effectively a company is achieving its objectives.
So in sales, a KPI might be monthly revenue.
Or customer acquisition rate.
How would you talk about KPIs in a meeting?
You could say we met 3 out of 5 key performance indicators this quarter.
Or our customer retention rate improved significantly.
Exactly. What about forecasting future performance?
That's another common discussion.
What phrases are useful?
We expect continued growth in the next quarter.
Or we anticipate a slowdown due to market conditions.
Yes, anticipate means expect.
Let's practice a forward-looking statement. Based on current trends, we project a 5% increase in revenue next quarter.
I like the word project.
It sounds analytical and professional.
What about comparing performance year over year?
You can say year-over-year revenue grew by 20%.
That compares this year to last year.
Exactly. And what does year-over-year mean?
It compares performance from one quarter to the previous quarter.
Let's discuss productivity.
You can say productivity improved after implementing the new system.
Or employee output increased significantly. Good example. Output refers to the amount produced. What about efficiency?
We improved operational efficiency by reducing processing time.
That sounds great for operations teams.
Yes, and these words are common in performance reviews.
Let's imagine a full performance summary presentation. Okay, here's a comprehensive example. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to report that overall business performance this quarter exceeded expectations. Revenue increased by 15% year over year, largely driven by strong demand in the European market. While we experienced a slight increase in operating expenses, our net profit still improved by 8%. Customer satisfaction scores also rose, reflecting improvements in service quality. Looking ahead, we anticipate steady growth as we continue expanding into new markets.
That was excellent, very structured and balanced.
Thank you. Now let's also talk about handling difficult questions about poor performance.
That requires diplomacy.
What might someone say? Although this quarter's results were below our initial projections, we've identified the key challenges and are implementing corrective measures.
That sounds calm and solution-focused.
Exactly. Never focus only on the problem. Always mention the action plan.
So words like corrective measures, action plan, and improvement strategy are useful.
Very useful. They show leadership and control.
Before we finish, let's summarize key vocabulary.
Revenue, profit, growth, decline, margin, target, KPI, forecast, projection, efficiency, productivity.
And important phrases like increased by, decreased to, exceeded expectations, remained steady, and year over year.
When talking about business performance, be clear, data-driven, and balanced.
Use numbers when possible.
Explain causes.
And always discuss future actions.
Talking about performance isn't just about numbers, it's about telling a clear business story.
A story of results, challenges, and opportunities.
Now it's your turn. Try describing your company's recent performance in English.
Practice using percentages, comparisons, and future projections.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel in meetings and presentations.
Thank you for listening to Business English Conversations.
We appreciate your commitment to improving your professional English.
Keep practicing and keep growing.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Hello and welcome back to Executive Business English. We are glad you're here with us today.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. In this podcast, we focus on helping you communicate professionally and strategically in high-level business situations.
And today's topic is essential for managers, analysts, entrepreneurs, and anyone involved in decision-making.
That's right. Today, we're talking about how to talk about business performance in English.
This topic is especially important in meetings, quarterly reviews, investor presentations, and performance evaluations.
Because when you talk about business performance, you're discussing results, metrics, strategy, and future direction.
Exactly. And you need to do it with precision, clarity, and confidence.
Let's begin with a basic question. What do we mean by business performance?
Business performance refers to how well a company, department, or project is achieving its objectives.
It usually includes financial results, operational efficiency, growth metrics, and strategic progress.
So when someone says, "Can you give us an update on performance?" they're asking for measurable outcomes.
Not opinions, not vague statements. They want data.
Let's start with financial performance. That's often the first area discussed.
Yes, you might say, this quarter we achieved a 12% increase in revenue compared to the previous quarter.
Or revenue remained stable, but profit margins improved due to cost optimization initiatives.
Notice the specific terms, revenue, profit margins, cost optimization. These are fundamental financial vocabulary terms.
Let's clarify the difference between revenue and profit.
Revenue is the total income generated from sales before expenses.
Profit is what remains after deducting costs and expenses.
When reporting performance, it's important to distinguish between top-line growth and bottom-line improvement.
Top-line growth refers to revenue growth.
Bottom-line improvement refers to profit growth.
Let's role-play a quarterly review meeting.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Overall, our Q3 performance exceeded expectations. We recorded a 15% increase in revenue year over year and improved our gross margin by 3 percentage points.
That's strong. You used year over year, which compares results to the same period last year.
Yes, you could also say quarter over quarter to compare with the previous quarter.
For example, quarter-over-quarter growth was modest at 4%, reflecting seasonal demand fluctuations.
The phrase seasonal demand fluctuations explains the reason behind the numbers.
And explaining causes is just as important as reporting figures.
Exactly. Data without context is incomplete.
Let's talk about describing positive performance.
You can say, we experienced strong growth across all business units.
Or sales outperformed projections.
Outperformed projections means results were better than expected.
You can also say we exceeded our targets.
Or we surpassed expectations.
These phrases signal success clearly and confidently.
Now let's discuss neutral or stable performance.
For example, performance remained consistent with last year's results.
Or we maintained steady growth despite market volatility.
Maintained steady growth suggests stability, and market volatility provides external context.
Now what about underperformance?
That requires careful language.
Yes, you must be transparent but strategic.
Instead of saying we failed, you could say we did not meet our projected targets this quarter.
Or performance fell short of expectations.
Fell short sounds professional and objective.
Then you should explain the cause.
For example, this was primarily due to supply chain disruptions and increased raw material costs.
Providing reasons demonstrates analytical thinking.
And then you follow with corrective actions.
For example, we are implementing cost control measures and diversifying our supplier base.
That shows proactive leadership.
Let's move to operational performance.
Operational performance focuses on efficiency and productivity.
You might say we improved operational efficiency by streamlining internal processes.
Or production output increased by 10% due to automation upgrades.
Streamlining is a useful word. It means making processes more efficient.
Another useful phrase is process optimization.
Yes, as in process optimization reduced turnaround time by 20%.
Let's discuss key performance indicators, or KPIs.
KPIs are measurable values used to evaluate success.
For example, our key KPIs this quarter included customer acquisition rate, churn rate, and operating margin.
Churn rate refers to the percentage of customers who stop using a service.
In performance discussions, referencing KPIs shows structure and accountability.
Now let's talk about market performance.
You might say we expanded our market share in the Asia-Pacific region.
Or brand awareness increased significantly following the campaign launch.
Market share refers to the percentage of total sales in a market.
Increasing market share usually indicates competitive strength.
Let's role-play an investor presentation segment.
I'll be the presenter.
Go ahead.
As stated previously, our cash position remains strong. Our balance sheet is well structured, with a manageable debt load and sufficient liquidity. This financial stability enables us to invest in strategic initiatives and manage any potential market challenges effectively.
That combines financial results with strategic expansion. Investors want to see both profitability and growth potential.
Now let's discuss forecasting.
Forecasting is predicting future performance.
For example, based on current trends, we anticipate continued growth in the next fiscal year.
Or we project a moderate increase in demand over the next 2 quarters.
Words like anticipate, project, and forecast are common in forward-looking statements.
Let's discuss variance analysis.
Good topic. You might say there was a significant variance between projected and actual revenue.
Variance refers to the difference between expected and actual results.
Then you explain why.
This was largely driven by unexpected regulatory changes.
Clear and analytical.
Now let's examine performance at the departmental level.
For example, the marketing department achieved strong lead generation results.
The operations team improved delivery timelines.
Or the finance department successfully reduced overhead costs.
Departmental breakdowns create transparency.
Now let's discuss productivity metrics.
Productivity can be measured in output per employee.
For example, employee productivity increased following the implementation of new workflow software.
Or we reduced downtime by improving maintenance schedules.
Downtime refers to periods when systems are not operational.
Now let's discuss customer performance metrics.
For example, customer satisfaction scores improved by 12%.
Or customer retention rates increased significantly.
Retention is critical for long-term profitability.
Absolutely.
Now let's practice a full, comprehensive performance update.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
This fiscal year, overall performance remained strong. Revenue increased by 10% year over year, driven primarily by growth in our digital services division. While manufacturing costs rose slightly due to inflationary pressures, strategic cost management helped maintain stable profit margins. Operational efficiency improved as we streamlined supply chain processes, reducing lead times by 15%. Looking forward, we expect continued expansion into emerging markets and forecast steady revenue growth over the next 2 quarters.
That's comprehensive and well-structured.
It covers financial, operational, and strategic performance.
And it ends with forward-looking insight.
Let's summarize key phrases for talking about business performance.
Exceeded expectations.
Fell short of projections.
Achieved steady growth.
Increased margins.
Reduced costs.
Increased market share.
Streamlined operations.
Implemented corrective measures.
Anticipate future growth.
When discussing performance, always remember 3 principles.
Be specific.
Provide context.
And explain next steps.
Performance discussions are not just about reporting numbers,
They're about demonstrating strategic awareness.
and showing leadership through analysis and action.
So the next time you're asked to provide a business performance update, you'll be prepared.
Use precise vocabulary.
Present data clearly.
Explain causes and solutions.
And conclude with forward-looking strategy.
Thank you for joining us today.
We hope this comprehensive discussion helps you speak confidently about business performance in English.
Keep refining your professional vocabulary.
And keep communicating with clarity and authority.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Hello, and welcome to Business English Conversations. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a very important and practical topic: how to talk about business performance in English. This is a topic that comes up in meetings, presentations, reports, performance reviews, investor calls, and strategy discussions. If you work in business, at some point you will need to explain how your company, department, or project is performing. Exactly. You might need to answer questions like, how did we perform this quarter? What are our results compared to last year? Or, are we meeting our targets? And to answer those questions confidently, you need the right vocabulary, structure, and tone. Let's start with a simple question. What does business performance actually mean? Business performance refers to how well a company, team, or project is achieving its goals. It often includes financial results, operational efficiency, sales growth, profitability, market share, and customer satisfaction. So when we talk about performance, we're usually talking about measurable results. Exactly. Performance is often connected to data, numbers, percentages, trends, and comparisons. Let's imagine you're in a meeting and someone asks, "Can you give us an update on this quarter's performance?" How should you begin? A clear way to start is with a general overview before going into details. For example, overall, the company delivered solid performance this quarter, with steady revenue growth and improved operational efficiency. That gives a summary first. Yes, it's always good to begin with a high-level overview. Then you can move into specifics. For example, you might continue with, revenue increased by 8% compared to the previous quarter, driven primarily by strong sales in the European market. Our profit margin also improved slightly due to cost optimization initiatives. Let's explain some of that vocabulary. Revenue is the total income generated from sales. Correct, and profit margin refers to how much profit a company makes after covering its costs. What about describing positive performance? What are some useful phrases? You can say, we exceeded our targets. We achieved strong growth. We delivered solid results. We saw a significant increase in sales. Performance was above expectations. I like the phrase, exceeded our targets. It sounds very strong. Yes, it means you performed better than planned. Now let's talk about describing stable performance. Not amazing, but not bad either. In that case, you could say, performance remained stable. We maintained consistent growth. Results were in line with expectations. We met our targets. In line with expectations means the results were exactly as predicted. Exactly. Now let's address a more difficult situation. What if performance was disappointing? That's where tone becomes very important. In business English, we usually soften negative news. For example, instead of saying sales were bad, you might say sales were below expectations this quarter. That sounds more professional. Yes. Other examples include, we faced some challenges. Revenue declined slightly. We experienced a temporary slowdown. Results were impacted by market conditions. So instead of blaming or sounding dramatic, you stay calm and factual. Exactly. Professional language is objective and data-focused. Let's build a full example of explaining mixed performance. Sure. Overall, performance this quarter was mixed. While revenue increased by 5%, profitability was slightly lower than expected due to rising operational costs. However, customer acquisition improved significantly, which positions us well for future growth. That's balanced. You acknowledge the challenges but also highlight positive aspects. Yes, it's important to show perspective. What about comparing performance over time? Comparisons are very common. You can say, compared to last year, revenue has grown by 12%. This quarter performed better than the previous one. We've seen a steady upward trend over the past 6 months. Upward trend means results are gradually increasing. Correct. And the opposite would be a downward trend. Let's talk about targets and key performance indicators. Yes, KPIs, key performance indicators, are measurable values used to evaluate success. For example, sales growth, customer retention rate, or production efficiency. How can someone talk about KPIs in a meeting? You could say, we achieved 90% of our key performance indicators this quarter. Most KPIs are on track, although we need to improve in customer retention. On track means progressing as planned. Exactly. Sometimes performance is influenced by external factors. How do you explain that? You can say, results were affected by external market conditions. Performance was impacted by supply chain disruptions. Economic uncertainty influenced customer demand. That sounds analytical and professional. Yes, because in business discussions, it's important to show you understand the broader context. Now let's imagine you're giving a formal presentation to senior management. How might you summarize business performance? You might say, to summarize, the company delivered solid overall performance this quarter, driven by strong sales growth and improved cost control. Although we encountered some operational challenges, corrective actions have already been implemented. We remain confident in achieving our annual objectives. That sounds confident and strategic. Confidence is key. Even when discussing challenges, you should communicate control and forward planning. Let's talk about forward-looking statements. After discussing performance, what usually comes next? Usually, you discuss outlook and strategy. For example, looking ahead, we expect continued growth in emerging markets. We plan to focus on improving operational efficiency. Our priority for the next quarter is strengthening customer retention. So performance discussions are not only about the past, but also about the future. Exactly. When you combine data, clarity, and confidence, you sound professional and credible. Thank you for listening to Business English Conversations. We hope today's episode helps you feel more confident in your next meeting or presentation. Keep practicing your business English, and we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye and take care.
Hello and welcome to Business English Conversations. Today's episode focuses on how to talk about business performance in English.
This is a crucial skill for meetings, performance reviews, presentations, and even job interviews.
Absolutely. Let's start with a basic situation. Imagine you're in a meeting and you want to ask about recent results.
You could say, how did we perform this quarter? Or, can we go over the latest figures?
Yes, and both sound professional and polite. Now, let's imagine the performance was strong. How would you describe it?
You might say, we delivered excellent results this quarter. Or, revenue increased by 18%.
Good. You can also say, we exceeded our sales targets. Growth was higher than expected. Profit margins improved. Customer acquisition increased.
Those are very common in business discussions.
What if performance was disappointing?
Then you might say, sales declined this quarter. We didn't meet our targets. Revenue was slightly lower than forecasted.
And more diplomatic versions, performance was below expectations. We experienced a temporary slowdown. Results were weaker than anticipated.
Diplomatic language is very important in professional communication.
Let's move to explanations. How do we talk about reasons behind performance?
You can use phrases like, due to market conditions, because of rising costs, as a result of increased competition, driven by strong demand.
Example, profits decreased due to higher operating expenses.
Or, sales grew because of a successful marketing campaign.
Now let's talk about trends.
Yes, trends are key in reports. Sales have been growing steadily. We're seeing an upward trend. Revenue has remained stable. There has been a slight decline.
You can also say, performance fluctuated throughout the year. Growth plateaued in Q3. Comparisons are another essential part of business English.
Exactly. Compared to last year, results improved. In comparison with Q2, performance was stronger. We performed better than expected.
Or, this quarter outperformed our projections. Let's introduce key metrics professionals often mention.
Common ones include revenue, profit, expenses, growth, margin, ROI, KPIs, market share.
Example, our KPIs indicate strong operational efficiency.
Or, our ROI improved significantly.
What about discussing problems?
You might say, we faced supply chain disruptions. Operating costs increased. Demand softened.
And solution-oriented language, we are implementing cost control measures. We are adjusting our strategy. We are focusing on efficiency improvements. Let's talk about forecasting.
We expect moderate growth next quarter. We anticipate stronger demand. We forecast stable revenue.
Or, we remain optimistic about future performance. Extended example dialogue. How would you summarize this quarter's performance?
Overall, it was a mixed quarter. Revenue increased by 10%, but profit margins were slightly lower.
What affected profitability?
Primarily, rising raw material costs and higher logistics expenses.
How does this compare with last year?
Compared to last year, revenue is higher, but expenses have also increased.
What actions are being taken?
We're reviewing our pricing strategy and implementing cost efficiency initiatives.
What's the outlook for next quarter?
We expect improved margins and steady growth.
That sounds like a realistic business conversation.
Yes, these are exactly the kinds of phrases professionals use.
That brings us to the end of today's episode on how to talk about business performance in English.
Practice these expressions in meetings, presentations, and reports.
Thanks for listening to Business English Conversations. See you next time.
Hello and welcome to Business English Conversations. Hi everyone, I'm Erica, and we're really happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Daniel. Thank you for joining us. On this podcast, we help you improve your business English through realistic conversations that you can use in professional situations.
If you enjoy learning with us, please follow our channel and share this episode with a colleague.
Your support helps us create more useful content for business English learners.
Today we have a very important topic.
Yes, we do. Today, we're talking about how to talk about business performance.
This is something professionals discuss all the time.
Absolutely. Business performance is about how well a company or team is achieving its goals.
It includes things like revenue, growth, customer satisfaction, and efficiency.
And being able to talk about these topics in English is very important in business.
So today, we'll cover useful vocabulary, structure, and real examples.
Let's start with the basics.
Good idea. What is business performance?
Business performance refers to how well a company is doing in achieving its objectives.
For example, increasing sales, improving customer satisfaction, or reducing costs.
It's about results.
And businesses measure performance using data.
Exactly. Data helps companies make better decisions.
Common performance metrics include revenue, profit, growth, and efficiency.
Let's explain those terms.
Revenue is the total money a company earns.
But revenue is not the same as profit.
Right. Profit is what remains after expenses.
For example, if a company earns $100,000 but spends $60,000, the profit is $40,000.
Growth refers to improvement over time.
Like increasing sales or expanding into new markets,
Efficiency means doing things in the best possible way.
using fewer resources to achieve better results.
All of these metrics help measure business performance.
Now let's talk about how to describe performance.
Good idea. You can use positive or negative language depending on results.
For positive performance, words like increase, improve, and grow are useful.
For example, our revenue increased by 10%,
That sounds professional and clear.
or customer satisfaction improved this quarter.
That highlights positive results.
Now let's talk about describing challenges.
Because performance is not always positive.
Sometimes companies face difficulties.
Words like decrease, decline, and challenge are useful.
For example, sales declined due to market conditions.
That explains the situation without being overly negative.
Or, we faced challenges but are working on solutions.
That shows a proactive attitude.
Let's practice some examples.
Okay.
Positive, our revenue increased by 15% this year.
Clear and measurable.
Positive, customer retention improved due to better service.
That explains the reason for improvement.
Negative, sales declined because of economic conditions.
That provides context.
Neutral, we are focusing on strategies to improve performance.
That sounds professional and forward-looking.
Notice how language matters.
Yes, business communication should be factual and professional.
Now let's talk about key performance indicators.
Great topic. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, measure success.
KPIs help businesses track progress.
For example, sales growth is a KPI.
Customer satisfaction is another KPI.
Employee productivity can also be a KPI.
KPIs vary depending on industry.
That's important.
For retail businesses, KPIs might include sales and customer feedback.
For technology companies, KPIs might focus on product performance and user engagement.
For service companies, KPIs might focus on customer satisfaction.
Let's create examples.
Retail KPI, sales increased by 8% compared to last quarter.
Good measurement.
Technology KPI, user engagement improved by 12%.
That shows positive results.
Service KPI, customer satisfaction reached 90%.
Very strong performance.
KPIs help businesses understand success.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about business reports.
Good idea.
Business performance is often described in reports.
Reports summarize data and insights.
They help decision-making.
Common phrases in reports include, the data shows,
Results indicate.
performance improved.
Let's practice examples.
Okay.
The data shows a 10% increase in revenue.
Clear and factual.
Results indicate improved customer satisfaction.
That highlights positive trends.
Performance declined due to external factors.
That provides context.
Business reports should be objective.
Yes, focus on facts, not opinions.
Now let's talk about describing trends.
Trends show movement over time.
For example, upward trends and downward trends.
An upward trend means improvement.
A downward trend means decline.
Let's practice.
Sales showed an upward trend this year.
Positive performance.
Customer complaints showed a downward trend.
That means improvement.
Revenue remained stable.
Stability is also important.
Businesses value consistent performance.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about describing challenges.
Good idea.
Challenges are part of business.
Every company faces difficulties.
The key is how businesses respond.
For example, we implemented new strategies to address challenges.
That shows problem solving.
Or we learn from challenges and improve performance.
That sounds positive.
Yes, businesses value learning and growth.
Now let's talk about business vocabulary.
Good idea.
Revenue,
Total income.
profit,
Income after expenses.
growth,
Improvement over time.
efficiency,
Doing things effectively.
KPI,
Key performance indicator.
trend,
Direction of performance.
objective,
Business goal.
strategy.
Plan to achieve goals.
These words are essential for business discussions.
Yes, learners should practice using them.
Now, let's practice a full business performance description.
Good idea.
Our company experienced strong performance this quarter. Revenue increased by 12% and customer satisfaction improved due to enhanced service quality. We also implemented new efficiency measures, reducing operational costs by 5%. Moving forward, we will continue focusing on innovation and customer experience to sustain growth.
That's excellent.
It includes results, explanations, and future plans.
Very professional.
Now let's talk about business meetings.
Good topic.
Business performance is often discussed in meetings.
For example, performance reviews.
A performance review evaluates results.
It focuses on achievements and areas for improvement.
Let's create an example.
Okay.
Our team achieved a 10% increase in productivity. However, we identified opportunities to improve process efficiency. We will implement new strategies to address these areas and continue driving performance.
That sounds professional and balanced.
It highlights success and improvement.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about common questions.
Good question.
Question: how is your company performing?
Answer: performance has improved due to strategic initiatives.
Question: what challenges are you facing?
Answer: we are addressing challenges with new solutions.
Question: what are your growth plans?
Answer: we plan to expand and improve efficiency.
These answers sound professional.
Yes, and they show confidence.
Now let's talk about business tone.
Good point.
Business communication should be clear and factual.
Avoid emotional language.
For example, instead of saying everything is bad, say we are addressing challenges.
That sounds professional.
Business discussions should focus on solutions.
Exactly.
Now let's summarize.
Good idea.
Business performance is about results.
Use data to describe performance.
KPIs measure success.
Trends show progress.
Challenges are opportunities for improvement.
Business communication should be professional.
And clear.
That's the key.
Before we finish, let's ask a question.
Yes, we love hearing from our listeners.
How would you describe your company's performance in English?
Try writing a short description.
Include results and future goals.
Practice makes perfect.
Thank you for joining us today.
We hope you found this useful.
Talking about business performance is an important skill.
And you are improving every day.
Keep practicing.
Keep learning.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.